Yeah, 1 2 1 2. Hey yo, AC. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Hey, can y'all hear me out there? Hey. Against all odds. 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 Against all odds.
The podcast.
Shout out to Rockhound Detroit Lions, man. One pride.
All right, Lions fans, it is game day, and I hope you're ready, man, because the Lions are going to be taking on the Packers today at Lambeau Field. My name is Will Rock. I'll be your host today, joined by Riley O'Brien. He'll be in here in just a few moments. Today's pregame, or this segment, is going to be your pregame show. Now, this is not your typical pregame show because it's going to be a little bit different next week. So the way that this is set up for the season is our pregame show, which would be called Keys to the Game, is literally going to give you the keys to unlock the game. We're going to dive so deep into all the stats, and no, it's not going to be boring. It's going to be a lot of stuff to help you get smarter about your Detroit Lions and the opponent before the game. That'll also be done way before the game. It won't be done at 2 o'clock like it is today, but we're a little bit behind the 8 ball. Before we get going, though, I just got to say, man, we're here. We made it. I appreciate all of you for joining with me, sticking with me, rocking with me with Rockhound Detroit Lions family, and season 2025 all the way to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 60, I think, is where we're going to be, and I hope to take every single one of you with me along this ride and this journey because it's going to be fun. So let's get it rolling, man. Man, I can't believe we made it. Finally made it.
Pressured by Hutchinson, he goes down again.
What's happening, Riley?
Man, it's game day. We're here. We're here. We made it.
We're here. We made it. It's game day. That's right. We probably don't have a ton of people in yet. Might not. I didn't advertise again for this one. It's just been one of those weeks. But today is really. How does it get any better than this? I mean, starting against a division opponent, and you're on the road. They pick up Parsons. We signed J-Mo in the wee hours of midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Holmes won up the Packers. Was not going to let them dominate the headlines before the game starts. J-Mo is probably going to play like a man possessed today. I hope he goes off, but we'll see. Like I was warning everybody, today's not your typical pregame show because next week, the pregame show, it's literally going to be about 30 to 40 minutes tops. And it's probably going to come out as a video. And then we'll do a live pregame show, which is where we're going to talk about what we talked about and then bring in people to call in. So that's next week. It'll be wide open for you guys to call in about 10 minutes after we get started. And that's the way that we want to roll with it throughout this season anyway. Trying to change some things up. So I guess let's get started with this, man. Let me pull my sheet up because when I left, I accidentally closed it. Let me get it back up. Anything that's on the tip top of your mind right now?
Well, just the text message that you sent to me and Eric. It was, this was deliberate, obviously, by Brad Holmes, not a coincidence or an accident on the timing of J-Mo's extension. And that's just, man, obviously speaks volumes to their trust level in him. And you're right. I wouldn't mind a deep shot to him in this first quarter, maybe on the first drive even. Let's see if we can't help him celebrate that new extension. But happy as hell for him and what it means for the teams. Now we know that J-Mo is obviously going to be in Detroit or is scheduled to be for the next few years. And I think that what that does for players' mentality right before the start of a season, that's just huge, man. I think he's going to have a huge game.
I hope so. I mean, I think that he's been planning and preparing, the same way to get ready for the day. And quite honestly, when you think about everything that's involved, I don't know what you just hit, but it made a really loud noise. When you think about everything involved, the Aiden Hutchinson deal, right? That is not going to happen. I expected it wouldn't happen. It's too big of a deal to go down in the waning hours of midnight. I mean, they probably could have got it done, but the conversation has been little to not much, and Brad did say they've had some conversations. It's been good conversation, but this could be a midseason deal. I know that the Lions hate doing deals in the midseason, but if they've had good conversation and Aiden's staying as far away from it as possible and it doesn't affect his game, they could still get something done. The biggest question I have now is how much is it going to be and how is that going to cripple the Lions going forward? So we're going to see with the Packers here real soon in the next, couple of years. How is this going to cripple them? And they're set up way differently than we are. We have a lot of guys to sign. So it's a deal that has to be right. It has to be perfect. Does that mean that Aiden's going anywhere if it doesn't get done this year? No. Is he going anywhere if it doesn't get done next year? No. The Lions could keep Aiden through 2029 with franchise tags if they really wanted to. They could leak him out, for the next 4 seasons if they wanted to, which I doubt that they're going to do that to him, but we'll see where that goes. Today is all about matchups. There's a lot to talk about. And again, part of the pregame show next week is going through all of the stats and the analytics that I've put together, which Riley could tell you, I put these crazy sheets together that will guide us through everything. And it's kind of taken all the guesswork out. So when you want facts, I'll give you the facts. When you want stats, I'm going to give you the stats. And then we're going to take all that and have a really good conversation about it, which I think is the most important part of all of this, is having the conversation, right? Let's be human about it still, as opposed to just robots. I don't want to be a robot. But facts and stats are a big part of this. It's helped us shape, the ability to make some pretty good predictions and expectations every single year, and today's no different. So, right away, I guess let me get that sheet back open. Let's go through the injury report. The final injury report should be out in probably the next half hour, I would expect.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have it just yet because it's usually about 90 minutes unless someone has seen it and I haven't had a chance to see it. We don't have it just yet. But what we do know, obviously, is Jamarco Jones is going to be going to IR for the first 4 weeks of the season. This is a strategic move. This is not like a season-ending move, but this is so that they can keep a roster spot available, right, for Jamarco Jones, or not lose a roster spot, and obviously put him out, get him healthy for the season. Giovanni Manu is now expected to be your second or your third tackle today, but your first backup behind Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker. So that's a big move. And Giovanni Manu is going to have to be ready to take that on. Also ruled out for today, Trevor Nowaski and Sione Vaki. Sione Vaki is instrumental with the special teams, clearly in the return game, but as a gunner also. The guy, he's one of the best special teamers that we have. He's an up-and-comer as well, and obviously his depth behind Craig Reynolds or behind, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery is big. So he needs to get back as soon as possible. Dealing with a hamstring injury could still be a couple more weeks. Just don't know just yet. Coyote Iwasaka, Taylor Decker, Isaac Tesla, all no injury designation so far today. Just don't know who the healthy scratches are going to be just yet. If I were to guess, it's obviously going to be the bottom guys on the roster. I think it's that easy to figure out. And I don't have the depth chart in front of me, but it's not going to be that difficult to figure out. We have 7 tackles, so you could probably see, 2 of those guys aren't going to make it up today, or 3 of them probably won't make it up today, as far as the defensive side. I'm pretty sure the entire offense will be there. Maybe minus, one, maybe minus one, offensive player, but, on the offensive line. Mm-hmm. Green Bay side, Elgton Jenkins was a limited participant. I could have sworn I saw him ruled out at some point, but he's good. Jordan Love's good. Micah Parsons is going to be on a pitch count today, and that's where I'm going to start. Everybody for the Packers looks like they're healthy, or they're limited and questionable, which means today it's Nate Hobbs is either out or he's in. That's a big one. They did bring up a guy off the practice squad this week. So the Packers are probably expecting Nate Hobbs to make it in today, which I believe that's where the Lions are going to take their first big advantage in the game, is if Nate Hobbs is not in and there's a rookie back there, it's time to get after him. So I expect the rookie for the Packers to get peppered today. Let's go with Micah Parsons, man. Overall thoughts on Micah Parsons. How does he affect the game, Riley?
Well, for me, I just keep thinking of the bold prediction that came from Jordan Love. Hey, he's getting a sack on the first drive. Obviously, just the emotional, boon that it's going to be for the players, obviously for the fans. This is as good as it gets, and we'll see with Micah Parsons. Pitch count, first game of the season. I have not heard what that pitch count might be, but certainly every time he's on the field, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on him to see how he impacts the game. I expect him. He's going to make a few plays today, I'm sure.
So to wind back, it was cornerback Micah Robinson on the practice squad for the Green Bay Packers who was elevated. And I think that the coordinating move here is Nate Hobbs. I don't know why else it would be anybody different. I think Nate Hobbs is probably not going to make it to the game today. Receivers on the Packers, look, everyone's kind of beat up. We had a conversation with Brian last night. I forget his last name, but with Cheese, was the Cheese Talk podcast. And he was kind of saying the same thing, that, a lot of these guys are banged up, really don't know what's going to happen, prior to the game. What we'll find out here in 20 minutes or so, what they're going to do. But look, the Packers have a rookie in Matthew Golden. They have Jaden Reed with a foot issue. Dontavian Wicks hasn't proven anything. Savion Williams hasn't proven anything. I don't trust their receiver room. Going up against the DBs that we have, if they throw for more than 200 yards today, I would be, I guess I would honestly be surprised. I haven't seen any of the over-unders. I haven't followed anything as far as, matchups that way with DraftKings or anybody else. But what is your thought on Jordan Love today? How much success do you think that he has in week 1 versus the Lions? And I'll come back to Micah and all that in just a moment. But have you seen anything from DraftKings on Jordan Love?
I have not, and that's a great point. I would imagine that his over-under would probably be over 200 yards, as most quarterbacks, usually will throw for more than 200. But I think for the reasons that you described, it's feasible that they don't. They might just try to obviously ride with Josh Jacobs a bunch. And I don't know when the last time a rookie wide receiver had a, 100 yards, multiple touchdown type of, huge game. I'm sure it's happened, but the last one that comes to mind for me was TJ Hawkinson, who obviously was a tight end way back in 2019. I just don't know that a rookie offensive guy is going to come in and have a huge game. So they're obviously going to be banking on Matthew Golden, but we'll see where Jordan Love goes with the ball. And obviously if the Lions can get to him and rattle him a little bit, and 200 will be a great marker to keep him under that number.
Taking a look at one of the stats here on, what is it, Betting Pros? Yeah, Betting Pros. They have Jordan Love plus or minus 238.5 today. I would go with the under. I'm taking the under. I know it's the first week, and that could obviously spell trouble for any team, since the first week is usually all about learning your defense, and this is, it is the new defense for the Lions. It's a new opportunity this season to see what the Lions can bring to the table. But I think that they're going to be able to handle Jordan Love just fine today. And obviously we're going to see some pressure from Marcus Davenport and Aiden Hutchinson and others finding their way into the backfield, rattling, Jordan Love, I think, is key number 1. It's going to happen. And with Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, DJ Reed, tell me another DB room, out there that would scare you as much as these guys. I don't really believe that there is another one out there. Terry and Arnold's going to have a big year this year, and I expect him to get right after it. Bringing you some new stats this season. I forgot to tell you guys this, but part of the pregame show, there's some new stats that we're going to be bringing you, such as ball hawk percentage. So since we're talking about the DB room right now, ball hawk percentage is going to give us an opportunity to kind of include all of the PBUs, interceptions, contested catches, tight window throws, and we're going to combine it all into one stat. And so that's going to tell you, even if, your DB doesn't have a bunch of interceptions, well, they may be doing a lot better with tight window coverage or tight coverage and tight window throws and PBUs. So that ball hawk percentage will be able to analyze all of it together and kind of put these guys in a range of where they belong in the league. Just to kind of give you an idea, last season, Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, if I remember correctly, they were like in the top 10. Terry and Arnold didn't have the greatest of seasons. He was around 70, 64-ish, somewhere in that range. But the last 4 or 5 games, he really stepped it up. So I think that's where the difference is with Terry and Arnold is he was a much different player the last quarter, the last, quarter and a half last season, and really stepped up his game big time. So this ball hawk percentage is going to give us a better window, if you will, at how our DBs are playing versus just everyone spitting out, well, they had this many passing yards, or they didn't have this many interceptions, or they had this passer rating. Those are all great stats. We're going to get in deep to give you the real value of what these guys are doing each and every week.
Yeah, man, I'm so excited for it. I wish everybody could see the structure and the work behind it. It's pulling back the curtain and not just looking at, hey, well, Terrion Arnold didn't have any interceptions. Okay, well, his ascension the last 4 games of the season would have been impressive with the full starting lineup there. All those other talented players around him. It's even more impressive without those guys. So there's context within these games, and that's the beautiful thing about football is you can gather as much context and take from it as much as you want. And obviously, right here, Rocked On Detroit Lions, we're going to be doing a bunch of that this season.
Absolutely. Looks like I just missed a $20 big shout out to Jody Carruthers. Says, woohoo, let's go Lions. Thank you, Will and Riley, for the live stream. This is not the live stream, though. Just know that there is a game stream that is getting loaded up right now, and we'll switch over to that probably right around 3:40-ish. So it'll open at about 3:15, 3:10 for you guys to go in there and get inside the chat. This is kind of just a quick breakdown, quick conversation as far as what's ahead for the day. Let's start with defense, man. We've kind of been all over the place, but let's start with defense. Both sides of the ball. Aiden Hutchinson's back. That's probably one of the biggest pieces of news that has been talked about all week long. Is Aiden Hutchinson, what type of effect is he going to have on the game? Secondary to that is the second biggest part of the news is Zadarius Smith decides to sign with the Philadelphia Eagles. And I really think that this is disrespectful to Aiden Hutchinson. It's obviously disrespectful to Marcus Davenport, but I believe that it is highly disrespectful to Aiden Hutchinson to say that you really need somebody on the other side to help him out. He doesn't need anybody's help. He really doesn't. The only help that he needs is the guy next to him, not the guy 2-3 players down the line. That's not the guy that's helping him anyway. The guy that's helping Aiden out is Tyleik Williams, Ali McNeil, DJ Reader, Amik Robertson, Kirby Joseph, Terrion Arnold, Brian Branch. Those are the guys that are helping out Aiden. When you understand a defensive structure and how it works, you split that defense in half, right? Right through the middle linebacker, straight back down, through the single high safety or the split cover 2. The guys on the left side are going to help you more than the guys on the right side. However, where Davenport can help Aiden, or where Aiden can help Davenport, is they push the ball where the offense doesn't want the ball to go. That is how you can help Aiden get stats, but that is not how you're helping Aiden win or helping Aiden get to the quarterback. Double teaming is not going to happen on both ends of an offensive line. I know that there's some intelligent people in the chat. Please tell me the last time someone wouldn't double team Aiden to go double team any other edge rusher or anybody else on the line. It's going to happen with DJ Reader. It's going to happen with Tyleik Williams. It's going to happen with Roy Lopez. But it's not going to happen where you're able to double team both ends. Like, that's just not possible. What is going on? I'm getting a ton of messages here. Oh, it's just Eric.
Oh, probably throwing some.
Yeah, at the wrong time. So I thought it was something crazy going on. Just like 50 messages came through. So anyway, be an understanding of the fact that a defense requires 11 guys to work together. I don't care who you put on the other side of Aiden or on the other edge. He's not really going to help Aiden. Like, Aiden has to help himself. Aiden has to win his one-on-ones. And if he can't win his one-on-ones, having another guy over there is not going to help that. Right? if Aiden can't win a double team, well, that's his fault. Myles Garrett does it all the time. The point that I'm trying to make here is it's disrespectful to say, number one, that Aiden needs help from somebody else. He's an elite, almost elite, in my opinion, defensive end. I think that this is the year that is going to separate him from being on the bubble. Yeah, he struggles with one-on-ones. He struggles with double teams. But if he gets a free rush, if he gets a good look, if he gets a good first step, if he's able to utilize that spin move, there's not many tackles out there that can contain him. But what an offense is not going to do is they're not going to send a double team or a single in a chip with slide protection, whatever, towards Aiden, and then not double team somebody on the defensive line. One of these guys is going to be open. One of the interior guys is going to be open. There's only 5 offensive linemen, right? There's only 5. If you double team both ends or you double team Aiden and a defensive tackle, that's 4 out of 5 guys. You still have, 2 to 3 more guys on the defensive line to get after it. So am I wrong here, Riley? Am I that far out? And let me add one more thing to that. Zadarius Smith, 5 sacks, barely played 15 snaps the last 5-6 games of the season. 5 games of the season. Barely played 15 snaps. 32 years old. Had 1 sack in the last 5 games. Why is this a person that everybody wants on the team? I don't understand. Like, it's not like he's a Micah Parsons. He's not a Trey Hendrickson. He's not a Max Crosby. He's Zadarius Smith. And he has only had 2 good seasons really in his career. And that was 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. He's decent, right? He's a great third down pass rusher. That's about it. He doesn't play, snap to whistle, 3-4 downs a game. So I would rather have somebody that can, right? Or have a really good rotation that can at least one guy play 3 downs, which Marcus Davenport can. I'm not saying do that. I just don't see why it was such a big deal. And like I said, would I have wanted him back? Sure. In week 8, right? When you need him later, not now. But anyway, I think it's highly disrespectful. I think the Lions have way more than what people are giving them credit to be. And I hope all the national pundits and all the other teams are thinking the same thing, that we needed somebody on the other end, which I know that they're not. I think that all those people that were wrong about it just can't handle the fact that they were wrong about it. Like, just suck it up, Buttercup. It is what it is. It's game time today. Are you supporting your team or are you not? Aiden's going to get after it. Tyleek's going to get after it. Marcus Davenport's going to get after it. But more importantly, and the last thing I'll say, and then I'll let you run for a few minutes because I gotta get something up. This defense is going to be different this year. I guarantee it. From what I've seen, from what I understand, this defense is going to be different. It is not going to be an Aaron Glenn style of defense. It's not predicated just on the ends like Aaron Glenn tried to do. It's going to be predicated on the linebackers, on the nickelback, on the box safety, and the defensive ends, and also creating interior pressure as opposed to exterior pressure. I'll leave it at that. Go ahead, Riley.
Yeah. I think if I would have told you in March or February, you're getting Aiden Hutchinson back, how much of his success is dependent or contingent on, as Darius Smith, you would have said almost none. They're not, they don't have to be on the same team. And, Zadarius Smith, solid player. He's somebody that you trade for in the season for a 5th or 6th or, whatever the Lions ended up trading to get him. But I'm excited, man, to see Hutchinson back out there. And from the Packers side perspective, some of the research I've been doing here, they actually have listed Zach Tom versus Aiden Hutchinson as being one of the key matchups in this game. Last time they played, now Zach Tom's one of the highest NFL paid offensive linemen in the league. He's got elite run blocking. He allowed just 3 sacks all of last season. In their last meeting, Hutchinson pressured Tom 9 times, showing he can disrupt even top-tier protection. So this is a familiar opponent for Hutchinson. It's, your best against our best. You're looking at Penei Sewell against Micah Parsons. You're looking at Zach Tom against Aiden Hutchinson. This is chess, right? This is as fun as it gets, as competitive as it gets, without it being a playoff game. And there's so many players on the defensive side of the ball that I'm excited to see play today, but I don't know that you could have one that would be more excited or make me more excited than Aiden Hutchinson. It's going to be great to see him back out there on the field.
I would agree. I mean, Zach Tom is one of the better tackles in the league. So if we understand how this defense works, is you're not going to put Aiden over top of Zach Tom often, right? I mean, your goal is to utilize the other side of the line as much as possible and try to affect the pocket that way. What I'm hoping that we see today is a lot of what I saw in camp is you're going to take those ends, you're going to flip them on the inside, you're going to take your tackles, you're going to flip them on the outside. They did that quite a bit. And then they are rushing a linebacker straight through the middle. If they really want to be unique, you take both those ends, you put them on the right. You take both those ends, you put them on the left. You put your two defensive tackles on the opposite side. You get full pressure from one side, and then you crash down on the other side with your linebackers. There's so many different unique ways that they could utilize the players on this defense and the strengths of the players on this defense. It'll be interesting to see what all Kelvin Shepherd's going to pull out of his magic hat today, because I think he has a lot. And,
For sure.
And I really think he's going to surprise a lot of us with how intelligent he is. And that's quite a bit of what you've heard, over the last couple of weeks, is how smart he is, how cerebral he is, how prepared he is. And he's just on his game. And I'm excited to see it come to fruition today.
Yeah, it's his first shot to call, the defense. And obviously, I loved his comments in the press conference he had a week ago or whatever. He said, "Tell these guys we're family. Friends come and go, but we're family. We're going to go through the ups and the downs." And no doubt he's got a great X and O scheme drawn up here. Seems to be motivating the players. And honestly, man, these guys are going to be so motivated to go as is. Season's back. This is their livelihood. This is professional football. This is as good as it gets, as competitive as it gets. And you're right. Is Green Bay going to have Parsons go right at Sewell? Are the Lions going to try to, mix things up and then what's the counter action, within as the game is being played? What are the actions that each coaches are making to counter what the other does? It's just going to be fascinating to see.
Well, the thing I think is going to be most fascinating to watch is how they use Micah Parsons today in what is going to be somewhat of a vanilla scheme for him. He's only been with this team for, a week, right? He doesn't know everything, about this defense. Now, he said that he did, but the biggest thing is they're going to have him on a pitch count. And anytime you put a player on a pitch count, I mean, that's kind of hard to... It's kind of hard to game plan for that, because at what point do you say, well, I'm not going to put you in here, and then I'm going to leave you in for these play, or this play, when the ebb and the flow of the game, as a coach, you have to know and trust who's in the game at that time, right? And if Parsons goes in and he's only supposed to just attack the quarterback and try to get after Gibbs and shut down the run and drop into coverage, and it's super simple for him, well, what about the rest of the guys that actually have to run the scheme? This is how you win football games, a scheme. It's not just man on man, right? It's not just mano a mano. It's I'm smarter than you. Now it's my guy's faster, bigger, stronger than your guy. My scheme should work. So if he's going to be in there on this pitch count, how effective is he really going to be? I mean, Parsons is Parsons, right? I mean, he's a good football player. He's a great football player. He's going from a 3-4 to a 4-3. There's some changes there. If I were the Packers, I'm leaving Luka Van Ness on the field, and I'm putting Parsons right behind him, and that is one hell of a side to contend with. And see, that's where I differ from a lot of other Lions fans that want two ends. No, I want one dominant end and an extremely dominant linebacker on that side, and complementary linebackers and a really good middle linebacker like Jack Campbell is, to follow up. Like, if you can lock down one side of the field, like you're in that much better position, because the ball is always going to go the other side. They don't want to run to that side. They don't want to pass to that side, right? the thing that I love about this defense is you just go around and look, you know, in your starting defense, if everyone's healthy, right, you've got Aleem McNeil and Aiden Hutchinson, let's say on the left side. On the right side, you then have DJ Reader and Marcus Davenport. Big, stout guys on the right. Aleem's still a big, stout guy, but he's a little bit faster, more nimble, right? And some guys that can get after it on the left. Then you have a top 10 linebacker in the middle. You have Brian Branch and Kirby, the 2 1-2, 1A, 1B safeties in the league. Terry and Arnold, I think, is going to finish in the top 15 this year. DJ Reed has been a top 5, top 10 at the worst, but a top 5 from his play style over the last few years. There's elite football players everywhere on this roster. And that makes more sense to me than just one position, right? Just only one position. Because if you do just one position and you really dive into, paying these guys big money, you're going to lose 3 positions from having elite guys in those positions. You can have some good guys, just not elite guys. We have elite guys in many positions on this defense. This is a defense this year. Here's my word for it. Ready? Every year I come up with a word. Suffocating. This defense is going to suffocate you. They're gonna put you in so many different positions, twist you up like a pretzel, and then they're just going to take the air out of you. It's just what they're going to do. They're too big. They're too fast. They're too smart. This defense is going to suffocate the Packers today. We got a few more minutes here. The next game stream, it should be up. So that'll be in about an hour from now. We'll probably jump on a little bit early, but that'll give some time to get some other things done. And again, let me remind you guys that this is not your normal pregame show. The normal pregame show, again, for those of you that have just joined, is going to really happen next week because of the way that I designed all of the new stats and all of the new graphics and everything. It's going to take into consideration what happened the week before. Right now, all we have to go off of is last year. And so that really doesn't help us a whole lot for today. So today was just kind of a conversation. But there is something else that I have to do. Is I still have to put out like all of my final predictions, which is going to come out between, now and 3:45. So my final season prediction will come out. The Rocks Locks will come out. And let's talk about some of the Rocks Locks right now. Or let's go offensive side. I'm sorry. Let's go the offensive side of the football. Riley, what is your biggest takeaways on the offense today for the Lions?
Let me, maybe I'm going off script here a little bit, but there's been a couple of super chats, some sizable ones. I wanted to make sure I brought those to you.
I'm not seeing them.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure before I get rambling and my brain goes, I'm so hyped up on football, but Lane Hill gave a $50 super chat. Thank you for all you do, she said.
Hold on. I didn't get any notification. Usually I hear something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I didn't hear it. My apology. Let me open that up. Elaine Hill, $50. Thank you for all that you do. No, the thank you is you, right? You guys, ladies and gentlemen, are the ones that make this whole thing tick. This is your channel. Like I've always said from the beginning, I'm just back here with the mic and the mixer and the screens and the computer to make it all kind of go, right? I've got the engine. You guys are the muscle. And without you guys, this doesn't exist. Now, I had a plan and a purpose for all of this and a reason. Well, number one, being a Detroit Lions fan is easy. I mean, it's really hard, but it's also easy. It's when it's in your heart, it's easy. What I will say is you are all the most important pieces of this, whether you're listening, whether you're subscribing today, whether you're liking it and sharing it with a friend later, commenting, just being part of it, just showing up, right? That's a lot for us. And we appreciate all of that. We appreciate all of you. So Elaine, that's a big donation. I promise you to go to a good place. So thank you for all that you do. What was the other one? J-Rod, right?
Yep.
J-Rod, been around for a long time. J-Rod has been one of the earlier subscribers to the channel. He says, Rocked on, the Rodel family and the Rockers, man, are you ready for some Detroit Lions football? Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment on videos, swipe the hype, and become part of the Rocked on Detroit Lions family with a membership of the #1 Lions content. Appreciate you, J-Rod. And I promise you, I will try to live up to that. Those are big shoes to fill. Putting out good content. We try. I'm not as consistent as I was. It's been a year of trials and tribulations, a lot of stuff that we don't talk about. I've talked about enough of them, but it's been another rough year over the last year. And this last week wasn't any easier. So we just keep on keeping on, man. That's what this channel is all about. It's kind of like the Lions, right? It kind of got that assimilation here. The Lions has keeping on. And at some point, we're going to win our Super Bowl. And at some point, this channel is going to win its Super Bowl too. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you. Did I miss any other ones?
Those were the two that I saw. I think we got them all. And obviously, this is Will's baby. This is Will's channel. I'm happy to be a part of it. And I just want to, express my heartfelt thanks to all of you guys, and Elaine and J-Rod and everybody. Like Will said, I can't say it any better. This is a place to be, and you guys make it great. And like you said, Will, when it's in your heart, man, it's hard to put into words, but just love this football team. Love the hell out of the Detroit Lions, and it's such a good place to be. There's nothing I'd rather be doing right now. Literally, there's nothing I'd rather be doing. So when we offense for the game today, here's what I want to see. I want to see the Lions dictate the football game through their offense. I want to see Jared Goff come out and say, okay, everybody thought, Ben Johnson was my, the whisper that he can't succeed without him. I want Goff to come out and show. It's kind of like when Stafford lost Calvin. It just gives you a chance to show your leadership even more, be an even better player. You've got all the weapons you could ever want. What are we going to see with the workload between Montgomery and Gibbs? What does Tesla look like? When do they take a shot to JMO? There's so many things to look for, like you said, on defense. There are elite football players everywhere on this roster, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So I want the Lions to come out, hopefully start fast, score quick, and just pour it on and make the Green Bay defense realize, like, this is a race we cannot win today. So that's what I want to see. I want the Lions to be very aggressive, which I expect they will be, and stick to their MO, going for it on fourth down if it's a reasonable position on the field, which I expect they will. And let's see some big plays.
Well, I'm hoping we see some explosives. Obviously, John Morton has highlighted that a lot over the offseason into the summer and summer training camp, that explosives obviously are a big part of this team. And, when I think, you go back to when Jared Goff joined the squad, and obviously there was a lot of the rhetoric and narrative driving, that he was just a bridge quarterback. And I know this is dumb that I say this, but man, he has built the biggest freaking bridge then. It's from here to China at this point. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Hands down. You can't look at any of Jared Goff's stats and really say he's in the bottom 10 of really any stat. It's insane how good he is. That's why a lot of this, the stuff that I've put together, for the actual pregame keys to the game show, we'll dive into all that stuff, and hopefully it's going to wake up some fans that maybe hear it for the first time, like, well, I didn't know he was that good. And now I could have went deep today and did a 3-year recap, but I need about 24 more hours in a day, and I'd be able to do that. In 2024, Jared Goff led the NFL with 9.5 yards per attempt on throws. Between the numbers, completing 79.4% of those passes. Good enough for second highest in the league. Now, on the other side of the defense for the Packers, the safeties allowed a passer rating of 50.1 as the nearest defender in coverage. Now, some of these stats have changed, and so you're going to start hearing things like nearest defender. And what that means is what it says. Who was the nearest defender? If you have a DB and a linebacker and a safety all kind of chasing one person, whoever was the nearest. So if the linebacker happened to be the closest, unfortunately, he's going to get the stat of the day, which is probably not going to be great. So those types of stats that we bring in, there's one. Passer rating of 50.1 as the nearest defender in coverage, the second lowest by any team. However, who did they lose? Jair Alexander. Right? Who's banged up today? Well, Nate Hobbs. Are the Packers going to be able to put up a 50.1 passer rating? No, Probably not. Now, Xavier McKinney did record a pass defense or an interception on over 36% of all targets last season. That was second highest in the NFL. And then his fellow safety or fellow starter, Evan Williams, allowed 13.6%. So who do you think the Lions are probably going to target today? Evan Williams. Expect a lot of passes going his way. Penei Sewell. So sticking with the offense here. Penei Sewell has allowed a pressure rate of 7.3% since 2022. It's the 8th lowest among 58 tackles with at least 1,000 pass blocks in that span. In that same time frame, the key matchup for today, which I'm sorry I don't have the graphic on, but the key matchup for today is Micah Parsons. And he has generated a pressure rate of 20%, leading the NFL on a minimum of 500 pass rushes. He lined up on the left side, 59%, which is where Penei Sewell is, of plays last season. But that was also in an outside linebacker role in a 3-4 defense for the Cowboys. This is different. How much is he going to match up over Penei Sewell? If I were the Packers, I'm sending him through the middle. I'm attacking the rookies. I'm attacking the weaker side of this offensive line. Now, Penei Sewell and Parsons have lined up across from each other 30 pass plays. Parsons generated 6 pressures, which is also good enough for 20%. So kind of, falling right in line with what he's done throughout his career. Let me grab a couple more here.
Yeah, if you're absolutely right. If you're a coach on Green Bay's staff, why would you send him at Sewell? I don't think you would, right? So that's the first thing I'm going to be looking for when the Lions are on the field for the very first time. I want to see where Parsons is lined up and who he runs at.
If it were me, like I said a minute ago, I would not put Parsons up over Sewell. I would put him on the right side. I would send him at Decker and Mahogany. I want to ask everybody in the chat right now and in the comments later, what is your biggest fear of the day? Is it the offensive line, or is it truly Marcus Davenport? That's what we've heard. Everyone's worried about Davenport getting injured. And I gotta say, I gotta throw this out there too. That statement or statements that Davenport had given, I don't remember who wrote the article and who brought it out, but my response was how disappointed I was in the One Pride, man. Like, the One Pride should mean something. Like that is a badge of honor to be part of the One Pride. If you are not supportive, everyone can have an opinion. You may not agree with everything. That's okay. But to take it to the next step where you're affecting a man in his family life, that's a whole different level, right? They got kids, they got wives, they got family. These people see the stuff that you're putting out there. I mean, if you just want to be some big internet cyberbully, go for it. It'll come back to get you at some point. Think of your kids. Would you want your kids to be reading something about you in that way? That's how I look at it. That doesn't mean that I agree with everything. That doesn't mean that I don't have concerns. It doesn't mean that that I don't have some fears about certain things, but it also doesn't mean that I have to go out there and bully somebody and talk about them in a way that it affects their kids and their family. Like that's disappointing. It's really disappointing. And I will say this too. You keep that crap up and you're not going to have any good players wanting to come to Detroit. There's already been some that have left and said, I left because of the fans. Josh Reynolds being one of them. So you're gonna fall on your own sword as a fan if we can't get the players in here that you want or that we need, because they're like, I don't want to be part of that toxic fan base. Why would I want to be part of that? We're supposed to be the best fan base in the country, man, in the world. Let's show it. Let's be louder than the other idiots. Let's show them the positivity, which really that also ticks me off. Is why is the positivity not being shown above the negativity? How about print an article that says, hey, did you see what this guy said and how positive he was? You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it.
100%. 100%. Because you've been on Davenport's side all the way through, and that's not just blind fandom. So it is extra disappointing when it's like it's low hanging fruit. It would be easy to express disappointment in these players, but then what happens when he gets 2 sacks today, or recovers a fumble in the third quarter, and then the Lions go put another touchdown on the board, and then he's playing really well, and then you see him downtown at I don't know, a Walmart or something. You're not going to ask for a picture with him, like just
right.
Have that foresight, have that the sense. It's just. It seems like it's really easy to do. You can be disappointed, but and you can express it. Hell, you did that with JMO, and you talked about it in the video you put out today. You said, there was a time when I wasn't sold on him, but what happened? The Lions gave him some leash. You gave him some leash, and then now you seem pretty happy about the JMO extension. I think all of us are.
Yeah, I mean, but I didn't come from a place where I was attacking some dude. It's like,
oh no,
I came from a place of being an analyst, an analyst, and doing analysis and looking at things from a raw data, perspective, and with my eyes on what happened on the field and talking about it. But I didn't say, I didn't start calling you names or naming you something different or making up, nicknames for you, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't start going to that length about things. I just think it shows people's level of intelligence, honestly. It doesn't take much to be an asshole. Like, all you need is one brain cell to be an asshole, right. Honestly. Right. But anyway, fitting is enough. We got someone in the chat named Toxic, as I'm saying the word toxic. That's hilarious. But anyway, let's just be better fans, man. Let's put these dudes in a better position. Like, if they want to play for the city, they're going to play better. If they feel welcomed and loved by the city, they're going to play better. If they don't feel that way, they're not going to play better. I mean, look at Jared Goff. Like, he went through a lot of the same crap that other guys have gone through or going through now, and then it changed. All of a sudden, it changed. So when Marcus Davenport starts to have a really good season this year, no, I don't care if he misses a game. I don't care if he misses a quarter. I don't care if he gets bumps and bruises. It's going to happen. It's football. But to say that he's oft injured or missing a lot of time, so have a lot of other players. Carlton Davis missed over 23% of his snaps before the Lions brought him in. Mosley missed 2 years. I didn't even hear people clamoring about Mosley. Like, they wanted him back. Why would you want him back? He just missed 2 seasons with, all of those injuries. Tim Patrick, he missed a bunch of time, 2 years. Comes back and has a good season and is now hopefully going to continue the rest of his career elsewhere. But why are you guys not dogging on those dudes? Why is it just Davenport? You know why, Riley? Because all of those people wanted Crosby and Hendrickson and Parsons and Garrett, and they were all wrong. That's why. Yeah. They just can't suck it up. It's okay to be wrong. I'm wrong every day about something. Every day I get something wrong. I just hope to get more things right to kind of wash it out, Anyway, let's stick back to football, I guess. Edgerrin Cooper is probably going to be a problem over the middle. He has stuffed opposing rushers for no gain or a loss on 7.2% of the run defense snaps in 2024, the second highest rate in the NFL. He's going to be a problem. Edgerrin Cooper is going to be a problem. So between him and Parsons, they have a really good linebacker core if that's where they're going to stick them. Amon-Ra St. Brown, how big of a problem is he going to be? Is he going to be able to pull Parsons away? I mean, I don't want to see Parsons lay out St. Brown. I'm afraid of St. Brown kind of going over the middle a little bit because I think that Parsons is going to take his shot. I don't think he's going to care about a penalty. I think he's going to take his shot. And I tell you what, if there's any BS today, the flags better be out and people better be ejected. If there's anything even close to what Brian Branch did last year, which did not warrant an ejection, we've seen worse already this season, and nobody's been ejected. Doesn't make any sense to me. Let's get into a few predictions. I think that this is a really good matchup. I think it's a pretty even matchup from the perspective that it's week 1. I think it's really even. I do believe the Lions have the much higher octane offense. And honestly, I think our defense is a lot better than theirs. I don't know how somebody could ever rank the Packers ahead of the Lions right now, ever, on any side of the football. What is your score of the day? And then do you have any stats of the day?
For me, I'm going to say I've been thinking about this. I'm going to say the Lions win 34-27. Stats, I don't have any pinned down. My mind's just going to places of, I just asked even in the chat as well, who do you guys have scoring the first touchdown? I like what you said with Jordan Love. Can the Lions hold him under 200 passing yards? And I would say this. I think Goff gets multiple touchdowns.
So you said 34-27?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, my score prediction is still the same as what it was the other day. It is 37 or 27-17. I am sticking with that. That's without a doubt. I did say that Gibbs would score the first TD today for the Lions.
Love it. And Trace just mentioned that it is official. It was just dropped on Pride of Detroit's Twitter. Hobbs is inactive today.
There we go. That's there's a rock lock without it being a rock lock.
They're coming to fruition already.
Hobbs is gone. He's out for that's big.
That's huge, man.
He's someone that they're banking on this year.
Mm-hmm. They're relying on now a rookie on defense and offensively too with Golden. And I don't think the Lions. You couldn't have had a worse opponent, to start your season against than the Lions for that case. You'd rather obviously have a easier opponent to try to ease these guys into it, but we'll see. Unless they have a huge game, but I think the Lions are going to be ready.
So I'm going to take a look at what some of the NFL put out. Where is it? Where's the game? Are the Jets still winning? They were looking pretty good.
Let me pull this up and see.
So yeah, it's 4-1. The NFL.com. Brooke, Dan, Gennaro, Tom all have the Lions over the Packers. Their score is pretty close to mine: 27-24, 25-21, 26-23. 27-23, and one person selected the Packers, 27-24. Obviously, I made my prediction 3 days ago before any of their crap came out. We'll see if it stands. Lions 27-17 over the Packers today. Gibbs, to get your first TD for the Lions, I do believe, and whether it's by pass, I said by pass. I think it could still be by pass. I'm going to put J-Mo's in there for a TD today.
Yeah, sign me up on that one. I love that one.
Why not, right? Hobbs is out, so obviously Montgomery probably going to get a running TD today. And I'm going to leave it at that for predictions as far as offense. Defense, now this is the area that everyone wants you to be right or wrong, right? Wrong if you call it low, right if you call a lot. How many sacks does Aiden Hutchinson get today?
I'm going to give him one.
Let's see what the chat says. How many sacks is Aiden Hutchinson going to get today?
I'm very intrigued. I think Parsons gets one. I think Hutchinson gets one. And
Riley, you're going to be real close to getting muted. Did you just say Parsons is going to get a sack today?
I think he'll get one. I do.
Oh my God.
I think he gets one and Hutch gets one, and it's going to be intriguing to see who gets theirs first, because it's those battles, those guys are going to say, well, it's like a quarterback. I'm not going against the other quarterback. Hutchinson's not going against Parsons, but these guys they're competing. It's their contract that Parsons just got, and then obviously with him being there new in Green Bay, I think he'll get one. I think they each get one, and I hope obviously Hutch gets his first.
I assume that Trace probably got that off of the Detroit Lions website.
I think she said Pride of Detroit. She did just put my name in all caps. So I think, I don't know, man. I don't want to piss off Will and Trace.
Yeah, Lions inactives. Thomas Harper, the new safety we just brought in. Sione Vaki expected. Trevor Nowatzki expected. Tyrus Wheat, the new defensive lineman that we brought in. And like I said, there's going to be multiple defensive linemen out today. 3 of them out today. Tyrus Wheat, Mekhi Wingo, Chris Smith. Those 3 are out. Sione Vaki and Trevor Nowatzki, we already knew were going to be out because of the injuries that they're battling. Jamarco Jones headed to IR, so he's not on the inactive list today, but Thomas Harper is. So, as expected, multiple defensive linemen. Why? Because we have 7 of them. You're not carrying 7 into one game. The Lions are going 4-4 today, so they're going to be carrying 8 defensive linemen into the game. I'm not surprised. And, all right, how many sacks for Hutch? All right, we see 3, we see 2. All right, here's what I'm going to say. 1, have you liked, shared, and subscribed today? That would be huge. We only have 38 likes. We've had about 60, 70 people in today. We've got to get these views up next week. I've got to get this out there and advertised. We need to get a couple hundred people back in these live streams, especially for pregame. So, all right, sacks.
Our Toxic asking if Tesla's playing today. He is. He's good to go.
Yeah, he's in there. All right, Aiden. I'm going to give him 1.5. Davenport. I'm going to give him 1.5.
There's so much vindication on the line between you and with Davenport. I love it. I can't wait to see this.
Look, if neither one of them get a sack today, it's okay.
That's fine. Yeah. Win the game.
You know, even in some of the bigger games this week, we haven't seen a ton of sacks. I think there was 5 in the Chiefs game. There's 3 against the Chiefs and 2 on the Chargers. So that's a really good game. And sacks are not the end all be all. I want TFLs, right? I want to see these guys. Performing. I'm going to give a sack to Grant Stewart today. I'm assuming that he's going to be utilized in some fashion on the defense. So I'm going to give him a sack today. And if it's not him, the other linebacker that I believe that's going to have an opportunity today to get after the quarterback is going to be Jack Campbell.
Well, it almost sounds like you think Stewart's a better player than Parsons. Am I hearing that right? Would you make that trade? It sounds like you're leaning Grant Stewart here.
Grant's just an absolute animal.
We talked about it a lot on the morning show too, but just to come to Detroit and become a captain, man, there are so many players on this team I'm excited to see play today. This is as like close to Christmas as a kid as you can get.
All right, last couple of minutes. Interceptions. I'm going to give the Lions 1, and I'm going to give them a fumble recovery today. That's a lot of stats, man. So we've got 1, 2, 3.5 sacks, an interception, and a fumble. I just don't know who's going to get the interception or the fumble. I mean, Grant Stewart may not get a sack. He may pop out a fumble, but I think the ball is going to be on the ground. For the Lions side, I do think that the Lions will give up 1 sack. It's not to Parsons, but I think they'll end up giving up 1 sack today, and it's probably going to come through the middle. I just hope it's not a day where they just tee off on the middle. I hope Tate Rowledge has a good game. Today is all predicated on health. These guys have got to stay in the game. It could be a total dominant game by the Lions today, and it may not. It may be a game where they just try to contain. I don't think that the Packers have enough to go downfield often, but we'll see. We don't know enough about Matthew Golden. That's what makes today so fun. It's week 1. You really don't know squat. I hate putting out predictions like this because, especially this early, because we just don't know what the team looks like yet. We don't know what the defense is going to totally be about. I have a good idea, but we don't know, how often they're going to be able to put these guys in a situation to win. So that's it. We'll be back here in about a half hour, and that'll be the live game stream. Both of us will be back in between now and then. I'm going to get this article pumped out. I'm going to give you my final take on the season, where the Lions are going to finish, who they're going to win against, and who they're going to lose against. And I'm probably also going to drop in there my stats for the guys and what I think some of the offensive players are going to be able to do this year. So thank you guys for joining Rockhound Detroit Lions today. Please do me a huge favor and subscribe. Obviously, like the stream every time you get in. Hype it up when you can. And join us back here in about 35, 40 minutes for the live stream. It'll be fun. We're just going to kick back, relax, call the game. We'll have the game audio in, and I'll do my best to get scores up. But I failed on the graphic. It's not complete. Something's not working with it. So I will have game audio as long as it's not all screwed up and like we're way ahead or way behind. But we'll do our best to have it in. We'll see you guys here shortly. Take care. Go on, Pride. Go Detroit Lions. Bye-bye.
Pressured by Hutchinson.